Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Today is September 20th for this virtual roundtable today. We have John Chatburn from the Governor's Office of Energy Resources speaking about energy assistance programs, and we'll have Russ Hahn from Idaho Power talking about energy efficiency and emerging technologies. I want to remind everyone that this is recorded, so if you want to access it later or share with anyone, it will be available to do so. And we now have it up on our website. So I want to kind of run through that really quick. Show you guys where that is.
I'm hearing audio, but this is what I'm seeing on the screen.
Okay. Why is it not showing our screen? Here we go.
Okay, now we're seeing screen.
Okay. So now I want to show you where this is on our website. If you go to our homepage, just commerce.idaho.gov, click on the Communities tab, and then scroll down to the bottom here, and it will be here under Virtual Roundtables, and we've got them lined out by year. You click on it, it will give you the link and then a brief overview of what was discussed. So they're all in one place now, easy to access, no passwords, no external links. It's very easy to find. So then, before we get started with John, I will encourage you to type any questions you have into the question box as you have them, and then John can get to those as he wraps up or kind of as we go. So with that, let me put up John's presentation. And we're ready to go.
Okay.
John, are you ready?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. This is John Chatburn. The Governor's Office of Energy and Mineral Resources has two programs that can assist with energy efficiency and renewable energy projects. Next slide, please. The first one is our energy loan program. This program has been around for a number of years, and it is for use in existing buildings, not new construction. It's available for residential, commercial and industrial, and agriculture, although we have not had anyone utilize the agriculture portion of our loan program for a number of years. Eligible projects are most anything, there are some examples there on the slide, but most anything that saves energy, that can be viewed as improving the energy efficiency of a residential, commercial, or industrial facility. Next slide. One of the primary requirements is that the application has to be made before any work is done. This is a loan program to provide dollars to do things. It is not a cost reimbursement program. So if you've already done the work, then you're not eligible to access this program. The applicant must own the property where the retrofits are going to take place. It's a 4% interest rate. It's for a 5-year term, and our loan maximums at this point in time are $15,000 for residential projects and $100,000 for commercial, industrial, or agricultural projects. Next slide. So the process is really quite straightforward. Anyone who wishes to apply would just fill out the application and the addendums that are on our website. And this includes a quote for the work that to be done. And we need verification that if you're doing something, if you're installing equipment that isn't rated by Energy Star or some entity like that, we need verification that the equipment is energy efficient. We conduct a technical review of the application, and then if the application passes that review, we will contact the applicant and go through the rest of the process with them, which includes applying for a credit report, copy of the deed of trust for the subject property, and a completed W-9. Next slide, please. The process, as it's laid out here, when you see it laid out in writing, it's really not as onerous as it somewhat seems. We have a list of institutions that work with us, credit institutions that work with us to do the reports. The applicant will select someone that they would like to work with. If the credit check comes out okay, then we submit a two-party check to the applicant and their contractor after we've finished all the loan documents. It says three-party check, but it's a two-party check. Anyway, next slide, please. Everything is spelled out in detail on our website, and Tammy Jaffet is the person here in our office that handles the loan program, and she'd be doing this presentation today and probably doing a much better job, but she's on vacation. So if you have any questions, however, you can get a hold of her starting next Monday. Before we go on to the Government Leading by Example program, I think I'd like to stop there and see if there are questions.
So far, I don't see any questions. I do have one though. Is this just for privately owned properties, or is there anything for publicly owned buildings?
Well, we're going to get to that in the next. These loans are only for private property, but the next program we're going to talk about, our Government Leading by Example program, is for government or public-owned buildings in our rural areas.
Okay, perfect. All right, I don't see any other questions.
Well, let's go on to Government Leading by Example, and then we can always come back and take questions. This is a program that we began to attempt to raise the stature of energy efficiency in our rural areas. If you go on our website, and you'll see a screenshot here, it gives you the eligible counties and eligible cities. And what we have is a program where we will work if a city or county requests an audit on a building that they own that is used for public business. We will work with the University of Idaho's Integrated Design Lab and do an energy audit. then we will discuss that audit with the city or county, and if we can identify some cost-effective retrofits that the local entity of government is interested in pursuing, then we will get them in touch with their local utility to take advantage of utility incentives, as well as our office will provide some, excuse me, some cost share match. Now, we have done projects for a number of cities. One of the most recent ones we did was for Lava Hot Springs, and we helped with the upgrading the lights in City Hall. And that project actually cost them nothing. Between the cost share, excuse me, between the cost share from our office and the incentives from Rocky Mountain Power, the city was able to put in the energy efficient lighting with no cost to them, which is a wonderful benefit to the taxpayers in that city. Again, folks have to apply before they do the work. This is not a project where, or a program where we would fund projects after they've been completed and then applied for. Any questions on that one?
I don't see any. Oh,
one thing I'd like to say is that I would really encourage folks that if you, the economic development folks that we have on the webinar, if you have cities or county facilities in some of the rural areas that are eligible for this program, I'd really encourage that you visit with them and try and get them to apply for it. If nothing else, it's taken the first step towards raising the profile for energy efficiency. And we have a number of the folks that we've worked with that have seen some real substantial reductions in their energy bills.
We do have one question.
Okay.
If the city is purchasing an older building to develop as City Hall, will this qualify?
It could after they get it purchased, after it's in the city's name.
Okay.
That's not. Oh, that wouldn't be a city in South Central Idaho, would it?
I don't know.
I'm thinking Southeast Idaho. Based on
oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's great, because there's a city in South Central Idaho that is doing exactly that. They're buying a building for City Hall, and we're going to, once they get the purchase done, we will do an energy audit on it.
So would you encourage them to talk to you before they purchase the building to see what their options are?
No, not necessarily. I think that the cities and their folks will be able to navigate through the purchase of the building. However, if they have purchased a new building, and by new I mean new to them, and they now have it in their name, then we're more than happy to come do an energy audit and work with them to try and figure out which retrofits make the most sense to begin with.
Okay. I don't see any other questions.
Well, I just would really like to encourage that anyone that wants to visit with us about these programs to please get a hold of us. We're more than happy to visit with the economic development folks, or if they can get their cities and counties to give us a call, that's great too. Either way.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you.
If we have any questions after the fact, or if anyone sends them our way, I'll make sure that you get those and field them, I guess, appropriately as they come in.
That would be perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, John. All right. Next up, Russ Hahn from Idaho Power. I will hand it over.
Okay. Click on the mouse.
Either way.
Okay, everybody can hear me okay, hopefully? Today, I just want to talk about expanding energy efficiency and some emerging technologies. And I'd like this to be interactive. So I'm going to ask people to get out their phones and use it a few times throughout the presentation because I'll be testing you. So ask me questions anytime. I'd rather you ask questions now throughout the presentation versus hold them towards the end. So the very first thing, our portfolio. And a nice thing to brag about the portfolio is sometimes people think Idaho Power's burn a lot of coal, that we don't have a lot of renewable energy on our portfolio. Well, you look at this slide on the left, almost 50% of our generation portfolio last year was hydro, clean running hydro facilities. And also you look at the green, that is long-term purchase. That is wind and solar purchases that are clean and renewable as well. So about 69% of our energy is clean. You look at that compared to the national average, and we just blow people out of the water. So it's a pretty cool story to tell. We're pretty happy about that. The coal, the big story is coal is winding down year after year. In 2016, it was 24%. 2017, 18, and next year, probably being lower than that. By 2020, we're getting rid of another coal plant. 2025, we're going to decommission another one. So as we get out of the coal business, we're getting into other businesses, and mainly it's renewables. All right, so hydroelectric plants, we have 17 of them. Most of them are on the Snake River or its tributaries. And who thinks, we'll just ask a question real quick. Who knows of our facilities, which one is the biggest? Hell's Canyon, Oxbow, or Brownlee? If anybody knows our facilities, which one's the biggest? If you want to type in real quick.
Type it in.
Type it in. Nobody?
Maybe they're Googling. There we go. Hell's Canyon.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good job, Steve.
Yeah, good job, good job. Hell's Canyon, about 585 megawatts of energy. So between our three, Hell's Canyon, Oxbow, and Brownlee, we have 1,100 roughly megawatts of energy. That's a lot. Out of our total portfolio, we're sitting about 3,600 total megawatts of nameplate capacity. So a third of that is from these big guys right here. Renewable energy, it's a hot topic. People are interested in it, and we're talking large companies. So we have to be ready. We have to have options, and we want to provide that to our customers. If that 69% of renewable energy that we have on our portfolio isn't good enough, we have options where they can purchase long-term renewable contracts through us on a large scale, which is kind of nice. We don't retain the RECs or renewable energy credits, but people can purchase that to show in our portfolio that they're in the green energy business. Another thing to brag about, and I'll stop bragging about Idaho Power for the most part, is how well we do in the community and our customer service. The J.D. Power survey, we have ranked in the top quartile when it comes to ease of doing business, and we are welcome to feedback. So any point in time you feel that things are bogged down on the economic development side, customer service side, whatever it is, we want to hear that feedback. Okay, here's a hot topic: is rooftop solar. There is rooftop solar for residential and commercial folks, and then there's all the solar you see, which is not rooftop solar, all the solar you see out towards Mountain Home area and other parts of our service territory that we'll get to and touch base a little bit on later. But rooftop solar, the main thing is do your homework. The thing that we like to see and the thing that we like to educate folks on is what is the intent for going with solar. Is it because you want to be green, or is there a financial benefit to it? And if there's a financial benefit to it, we want to provide the tools to make sure that folks are making a wise business decision, especially on the commercial side. And I'm going to have to get out your phones just to show you what I mean here in just a minute. Because on the commercial side, commercial rates are much, much, much cheaper than residential. So if you're trying to offset power that's 4 or 5 cents per kilowatt hour versus 10, your payback makes a big difference. So here's a website you can go to. We're not going to get all the details, but we encourage folks to go to this website. If you have any questions about solar, we have a dedicated team to help you out. So here's I want to get your phone, and I want someone to type in the answer that gets it first. There's 2 sites. If there's one thing you want to learn about solar, educate yourself and learn these 2 sites. Google Project Sunroof is one of the best, and PV Watts, paulvictorwatts.com. So I'd like someone to get out your phones. I know you're probably sleeping at your desk, so get out your phone and type in Google Project Sunroof, or go to Google and type in Project Sunroof, and wait till you get the screen. It looks like that highlighted on the left. And give everybody a minute to get there. There's folks that go door to door. There's folks that try to invite you to purchase rooftop solar, and solar is cool. It's an awesome option. It's going to be here for a long time. Our intent is just to give people these third-party tools to help you make good decisions. Find it, Amanda?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, once you're there, let's type in your address. Once you type in your address and go to next, it should pinpoint the exact location where you are. We'll give people a minute to do that. What I'm looking for is a first person that can give me their payback based on their average amount of their power bill. So you should have an option to put in what's your average power bill at your home, $50, $100, so forth. And it's going to turn into best case scenario based on the best sunlight, the best array. If you want to offset that energy, what's going to be your payback and the financial incentives available. See Amanda, scroll on, she's going.
Wait, you want to know my savings?
I want to know your payback in years.
Okay.
It should tell you. Your return on your investment. Anybody want to type it in? Oh, someone got it. 20 years. Okay, good, good.
Yeah, mine's 18.
18?
Mm-hmm.
Give it just another 20 seconds or so. The average payback for residential solar in our territory is 17 years.
Wow.
So it's just something we want to have a discussion with folks about is what is your intentions? Most folks don't plan on living in their home or having a business for that amount of time. And this is, remember, this is residential rates. This is at 10 cents a kilowatt hour. If you factor in business, I've done several calculations for businesses on the large scale and small scale, and it's much higher than this. So the thing we don't want to see folks get into is a situation where they're paying $50, $100, $500,000 for a system that may not provide the results they're looking for. So contact us. We're here to help you. We're not against solar. We're just educators and advisors to help you make good decisions. The other one on the right is pvwatts.com. That is another really awesome site. That's going to give you, based on the system size, what you can expect in wattage per month based on the sun, the position of the sun. It's really cool. So between those two, you're going to know most of the folks that come door to door asking you questions. Competitive rates. We provide this to folks that are looking to come to do business with Idaho Power all over the world, and then this is how we compare. It's pretty nice. You know, we're talking industrial rates, all-in costs, $5.83. So it's less than 6 cents a kilowatt hour. That's all-in cost. I mean, we're in a tier rate structure, so it could be as low as 3.5 all the way up to a little bit above to close to 6. I mean, this factors in demand charges and everything. And you look at the small commercial side, 7 cents. Really attractive rates. So very competitive. And if you need any kind of data on comparison between other utilities, we can provide that to you. Okay, energy efficiency. So we always get asked the question, why do we enter energy efficiency and why is it good for customers and the business? Why would we want to have people use less of our product when we're in the business to sell energy? And the answer to that question is it delays the need for us to purchase other large facilities. So the folks around here, we just had at Langley Gulch was one of our gas generation plants near Payette. That plant was over $300 million. The large gas power plant, 300 megawatts, but we have to, there's an approval process for that, and it costs a lot of money, and that money goes right to the customer, and we raise rates. We don't want to do that. So a very cost-effective way to delay the need for that is energy efficiency. And we save the customers millions and millions and millions of megawatt hours a year with our programs. And we could talk about programs for 5 days, and I can bore you to death with them, but we're not going to do that. So we're going to keep it very high level. Some of that, of course, a lot of you folks know why energy efficiency is important, but here's another slide. The one I like the most is it enhances employee productivity. Well, how does it do that? Well, if you have better lighting in your facility, if you make your facility more comfortable, that makes folks more productive, happier. They want to stay longer. And a happier, more productive employee is a result of the business other than just energy efficiency. So it's a big deal. And it's something different than just ROI on a piece of paper showing what am I getting back, how much energy I'm saving. Keeping people happy is just as much or more important than everything else. We have programs from every customer class available, residential, commercial, irrigation, industrial. We'll kind of hit on just highlights of the big ones, mainly industrial customers and some of the custom projects. But if you need any of this information, you can get a hold of me or anybody at Idaho Power. We'd be happy to talk to you. So if it uses electricity other than a coffee pot, we probably have a program for it. So our commercial and industrial programs, we have new construction. This is a hot one, very good one. Idaho is growing, and it's growing very rapidly. So as folks come in here and they want to build, they need to get a hold of us first. It's very wise to get a hold of us. We need to have the pre-planning and process. We work with architects and engineers. When we save them a lot of money if they have energy efficiency practices for their new construction. That is on the lighting side, it's on the HVAC side, process side, whatever it is, we can fit you into something. I mean, it's incredible. There's a list that we have. If you went to our energy efficiency site under new construction, there's anything and everything under the sun that's available, there's an incentive for. And we have a dedicated team to help you maximize incentives if you go to that program. Retrofits, we call it simple retrofits. So if you're an existing facility and you want to upgrade HVAC controls, HVAC equipment, lighting, heating, cooking equipment, whatever it is, we probably have a program for it. And as long as we get pre-approved for it, you let us know beforehand, we fill out applications, we have folks ready to help you. And if you have struggled with the application, let us fill out the application for you. You just got to sign it and send it back to us and let us get you pre-approved. We make it really easy for you. The biggest thing that we hate to see is when folks do something and then they call us. It's like, well, dang it, now it's hard to get incentives, they already done something. So just call us beforehand. Flex Peak, that's a really cool program. That's during the summer months. If you want to shut off load on a large business or an irrigation pump or even your AC device in your home, we shut devices off and curtail load during certain peak hours of the day, only a few times out of the summer, we pay an incentive. So the reason for that is we peak and peak and peak in 5 o'clock on a July afternoon, we can only have so much load available. So if we don't have load available, we have to purchase that somewhere else. If we have to purchase it, it costs money. So why not offer customers an incentive to shed load and save energy, which is also good for the environment as well. So it's an awesome program. We've had it for a long time, and we offer all kinds of customer classes. Does anybody have any questions so far right now before I move into other topics? Talking kind of fast.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, got everybody sleeping right now. All right, this kind of goes over more incentives on the new construction side, kind of like we talked about before. And the nice thing about it is if we work with that architect or engineer, we actually pay them an incentive to put the paperwork together because it takes them a lot of hours to provide all this information. Well, we're going to give them 10% of the total incentive back to them, up to $2,500, which is huge because several years ago, the problem we were having is customers weren't participating because the architect didn't want to do the work and they weren't getting really a kickback or paid for that work. Well, now we are. So when they see this, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, let us help you work with these folks and show them how to submit this paperwork. So the custom side, if there's something not on the menu and you have a large facility that's very complicated, there's still programs for it. We have custom efficiency program specialists that are dedicated to looking at process equipment and all kinds of things in a large manufacturing or food processing facility to save energy. We have options where we pay thousands of dollars for third-party contractors to come into your building and do an audit, whether it's a scoping audit, high level, or detailed audit, to find ways that we can save energy. And I mean, look at that detailed audit. We're going to pay up to $12,000 for a detailed audit. I mean, it's huge. And once you have that detailed audit, they're going to make recommendations. And once you have those recommendations, we fit into a program, and we pay 18 cents per kilowatt hour saved. 18 cents. Now, remember what that industrial rate was and the commercial rate was? 5.8 and 7.7. We're paying over double that to save, almost triple. It's huge. So a lot of money. On average, we're paying 50% of project costs. I've seen especially on the HVAC side, HVAC controls, which is a monster energy user. If you put the right controls in an HVAC system and an HVAC strategy, I've seen projects where we're paying 70, 80, 90%. Yeah. And they're saving thousands of kilowatt hours, and we're paying $100,000, $200,000 for projects. It's really cool. It's fun to watch. Okay, we'll go over to some real quick topics on Electricity 101. So in the business development world, we get questions. Well, there's a new business coming in and they're going to need 10 megawatts. Well, what does that really mean? So knowing the difference between demand and then, of course, load over time in kilowatt or megawatt hours. What's the difference? Anybody know? Want to type that in? What does a megawatt mean? How many kilowatts is in a megawatt? Let's have someone type that in. Give it a second here. Come on. A lot? That's true.
We've got more, 1,000?
1,000, yep. I like a lot is a lot better though.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so 1,000, so a K meaning 1,000 watts, a kilowatt. And then, of course, kilowatt hours, 1,000 watts used per hour. So if I had 1 kW or 1,000 watts used for an entire hour, it's 1 kilowatt hour. Megawatt, same thing, is 1,000 kW, 1 megawatt. It's a lot of energy. And just when we see projects come in on the large load side, and they require 5 megawatts. Usually what we see when they actually get their business up and running, it's about half of that is what they actually are using. The reason why that's important is because we have a planning process, planning engineers involved, that we're forecasting what is going to be the need for the next 20 years, even the next year. So that helps us determine what kind of capacity constraints we're going to have. Also, we provide estimates for that 5 megawatts for that customer. So if someone's saying I need 5 megawatts, it's going to cost $5 million to upgrade our system to do that, and they have to pay for it. That may scare them off. But really, they may only need 2 megawatts to run that facility. And we have that available to them, so their cost is very, very low. Anyway, it's very important to work with those engineers to make sure that what the need really is when doing business, so we can get you the best quote. If that makes sense. Okay. I like this one, transformers. There's real power, and then there's power that you can't use or wasted power. And I like this picture because it's just like a beer. You really don't drink the foam on the beer, but you drink the good liquid stuff, the liquid gold stuff. And that's just like real power and what we call wasted power, or kVAR. So in a transformer, you'll see it says maybe 1500 on there. That 1500 isn't all usable power, that's kVA. And so a portion of that in kW is usable, and a portion is wasted through heat and other losses that come through that transformer and the magnetism aspects of it. So the important part about that is contact us. We want to make sure that we get you the right figures of what is actually available in that transformer, and I'll go over that right here. Here's a picture of a transformer at BSU. It says 1500 on there, and you can get a lot of information just what's on a transformer or a power pole. Take a picture of it, send it to us. So if you're looking at a facility and it has a 1500 kVA transformer, that it doesn't necessarily mean you have 1500 kW of available power. You may have it really close to that if nobody else is on there, but there may also be somebody else tied into that transformer using up some capacity. And also there may be other capacity or constraints. So the main thing is get a hold of us. It's very easy for me to go into the computer, see what loads on that transformer and what's available, and we can help you make an educated decision on the facility. Okay, gotta get your phones again one last time. We're going to talk about electric cars, and we're doing okay on time. Electric cars is a very big deal right now. We're excited for it. The technology is coming. Of course, this is Idaho, so everything that on the energy efficiency or renewable side is always delayed. So a standard car, let's say you have a car, you drive 12,000 miles a year. Let's write this down and so you can get the answer first. You drive a car 12,000 miles a year, and this little Chevy gets 20 miles to the gallon. How many gallons are you going to use a year? And that gallon of gas costs you $2.85. Let's get your cost. 12,000 miles a year, get you 20 miles to the gallon, and costs you $2.85 a gallon. I wish it was $2.85 a gallon. Give folks get a chance to get your costs. Someone chimed in there, perfect. And then we got a little electric vehicle. You drive that same electric vehicle 12,000 miles a year. You can get 3.33 miles per kilowatt hour. 3.33 miles per kilowatt hour. And it costs 10 cents a kilowatt hour. So how many kilowatt hours are you going to use? And it costs you 10 cents a kilowatt hour.
I don't want to say it out loud.
Okay, so we have $1,710 for the gas. How much we have for electric? And who can give me the total savings? What do you save by going to electric?
So I had 363, but 1350.
Yeah, good job. Electric vehicles are pretty big. They're good savers. And the thing that's nice about them, most folks don't make large commutes. They're going back and forth to work. Yes, we don't have the infrastructure here for long travel. I'll talk a little bit about that. We have a little time. Won't bore you to death. But electric cars, we're seeing more and more of them on the road. And there's definitely a financial benefit to driving them, especially with our rates. So we have a lot of electric vehicles in our fleet. They are super fun to drive. I don't know if you've ever driven one. We have the new Chevy Bolts, all electric in our fleet. There's a few of them. And those frickin' cars are fast. You know, they're 200 horsepower electric motors. And the thing about electric motor is it's all right now power. So you don't have to have like a normal gas engine. It kind of takes a little bit to ramp up. you stomp on that thing, and it's fun. So they're very zippy, they're fun, they're cheap, they're low maintenance. Think about the times you have maybe a 10-year-old car, or it's, who knows how old it is. You have to get it tuned up, or something breaks down in the engine, or you have to change the oil. You don't have that electric car. So there's a lot of other benefits to it on the environmental side and the savings side that makes it easier on your wallet. Electrify America. So we have a team dedicated towards this. There was that Volkswagen settlement where we got, I think, $3 million in funds, and we're using that money to put infrastructure in Idaho along I-84 on some charging stations. This is in the works right now. So if you ever have any questions about what we are doing to put charging stations in Idaho, let us know and ask us questions, because we're happy to give you answers. There's a new fast charging station in Huntington, Oregon. So that's the big hot ticket item that we're going to start to see. So there's 3 charging stations. I'll go real quick. Tier 1, which is 120 volt. Tier 2 is 240 volt. And these big fast charging stations that are high voltage, and they're going to charge your car anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. Wow. That's the way of the future. 7 to 10 minutes. We're talking that it takes an enormous amount of capacity and transformation to get that charging station there. It's a lot of money. It's $200,000+. But once the infrastructure is there, it's going to be super nice. So people can travel along interstates and charge their car very quickly. Those are tier 3 charging stations. They're already there. They're more prevalent in the West, but we're seeing them over here as well. What's that?
Can you see? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's there. Okay.
So I just want to open up for questions. I'm hoping folks have some questions on electric cars. Whether, if you want to talk about, the big thing is also PERPA or our generation portfolio, how much energy we have purchased that's non-Idaho Power owned, electric cars, energy efficiency. Happy to answer some questions.
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully people are furiously typing.
I'll give it a second.
Yeah. Oh yeah, would you be interested in sharing your slides? We will have the recording up on the website soon, if not tomorrow, by Monday.
Anybody that's interested, I'm happy to share my email. I try to keep this very short and interactive, but if you want anything on energy efficiency for your particular business, or you want to know about rates, whatever it is, then if I don't have the answer, I'll get it to you. I can get you the right person. So my email, if you just want to have it down, my email is Hahn, that's H-A-H-N, the number 2, at idahopower.com. Feel free to email me a question if you want to ask it now, or think of it later.
This is great. I learned a lot. Thank you.
Well, appreciate your time. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for making yourself available. I don't see any other questions. Again, maybe I'll show you guys one more time where you can find this on our website, where it will be. So again, if you just go to the Commerce homepage, click on Communities, and then scroll down to the bottom. They will be right here under Virtual Roundtables, and again, it'll be under this 2018 tab. So with that, there's no more questions. Thank you, Russ. Thank you, everyone else.